Good morning, good evening, or good night. It's Starlight, and welcome to Time for a Borderless World, where we try to smash all borders, mental and physical. And today we are talking about spirituality. That's kind of the theme that we're working on right now on this channel. So sit down, relax, grab a refreshing beverage, and let's chit chat. I tried to record this once before, but it was kind of all over the place and my phone died. So I kind of took that as a sign to kind of maybe re-record it. So I kind of wanted to re-record and reiterate my points maybe a little bit more clearly. So I had just I just finished watching one of the spiritualists that I watch, and he was talking about oneness and the ego. So he is really into oneness and the concept that if you get rid of your ego, you are therefore one with spirit and one with God, and therefore that is your most aligned state. And he also goes on to say how there's no way for you to be unaligned. You can't get away from spirit and God, and that's absolutely correct. Spirit is within every single one of us. It's the thing that energizes our body and enables us to get up and go and live and be conscious. Like, without spirit and without God, you're not anything. You're not living at all. And there are some people that are more identified with their spirit than others. And, I often hear how people say, oh, well, that person has no soul. That person, is dead inside. And I think it's more so they're just asleep. They're not aware of their spirit and they're not aligned with spirit. But every single human being has spirit within them and has a soul and whatnot. Where I kind of differ sometimes with some of the teachings that I see online, when people say they have to kill their ego, or they have to, have ego deaths, or, they have to completely dissolve into oneness, I come to the conclusion that, spirit and God wouldn't have incarnated into a human form on Earth if they didn't want to experience being human. Having wants and having desires is not always bad. Those aspirations that come up, those desires, those wants, those feelings of that would be nice, or I want this or I want that, is the manifestation of spirit coming through saying, I want to experience this and I want to experience that. I often feel as though when you start denying yourself certain intuitive pulls, like I want to do this or go here or do that, you start denying the expression of spirit and what it actually wants. And, I just had this, thought come up, well, some people think that, you can be manipulated by demons and evil spirits to do things that aren't aligned. And you know, I don't like it's not demons, it's not evil spirits, but you can, you know, be tricked into doing things that aren't aligned with God and aren't aligned with spirit. And that can lead you off your path, off the path of what your higher self and what God would want. Because your higher self and God are the same thing. They're intricately connected. And so when I recorded this video before, I had read an excerpt from one of my past journal entries that kind of showed, you know, my past mindset. So there was a time, but I just come to realize that it's just unimportant. I mean, we all go through bad periods. We all, you know, are identified with parts of ourselves that aren't true. And I used to be identified with the thought that nothing mattered and, you know, like life is pointless and all of this BS, when, you know, I don't think life necessarily has a grand meaning other than just spirit wanting to experience being a human and incarnate here. Like, that's the meaning. But, you know, you don't have to be like negative about it. You don't have to be down about it. But without me being negative and without me feeling bad about the current state, I wouldn't have found myself here. Like, every single thing you go through happens for a specific purpose. You feeling negative and you feeling like crap, or this human form, going through these experiences leads you to the point where you're at right now, and leads you through learning lessons and leads you towards things that help you grow. And in my case, it helps me grow closer to the idea of being connected with my higher purpose. I've come closer to the realization that I think I'm done watching other people's content and really trying to get the next piece of information that's going to help evolve me higher and, you know, help me get more connected with source, because I'm already connected. I'm being called to develop my own path with spirit and my own path with God. To sit with myself more, to just be. I don't have to constantly be attached to the idea that I'm lacking information or that I'm lacking a certain perspective, when I, as spirit, have been placed in this human body to experience life through this specific lens. And if you're watching this video and you've made it to this point, you're probably being called to do the same thing because you align with what I'm saying in my message, that it's okay to get off of social media and get off these apps and reclaim more of your time. And I'm kind of dissecting a lot of the things that I think I want lately, and why I've been so heavily, I gotta wash my hair, I'm super itchy. why I've been so heavily identified with trying to get to the next stage of my life instead of being comfortable with right here is because I haven't stepped into my own path. I haven't been comfortable with the life Spirit has given me. It's been a good life. It's been such a good life so far. And I haven't rested in that knowing until like now, basically. You know, I've wanted this, I want this in the future, and you know, when I get my long hair again, and when I get my earth ship and my food forest, and when I'm able to get out of the rat race of this society, you know, all of these wants that I think I'm gonna be happier here. I'm going to, you know, be living my best life here when I'm already living my best life now. And that's all thanks to the realization that I am connected to Source and oneness, and Source is living this life through this body. Like, and you know, I would sometimes feel shame that I didn't realize things quicker. Like, oh, I lived so long living from ego, and I wasted so many years, and now I'm an old lady. But I'm not old, and I haven't wasted anything. Every single thing that I've gone through has brought me to this point, and it's beautiful. So don't feel shame about where you're at. You're exactly where you need to be. You're doing exactly what you need to do, and yeah, I just want to, you know, express some encouragement to you that, you know, the video I watched today, the individual had said, do you really think that you can outwit God's plan, or like manifest so hard that like Spirit unfolds differently? And I thought that was pretty witty, because it's the truth. Like, you're always walking with Spirit. You are always with God, whether you acknowledge it or not. You can't be anywhere else but with Spirit and with God. You can try to run away, and you can try to denounce the fact that it's not there, like God and Spirit doesn't exist, but you're just digging a hole for yourself, because it's always there. You would not be existing if you didn't have a spirit or like this energy running through you. You wouldn't be alive. You would be dead. You would be in the ether, floating around, not consciously aware of anything. So just hang in there. Life is a journey. Life is something you walk until it's time to go experience something else. I hope this talk has made sense. Feels like I just rambled for 20 minutes and it doesn't make sense. So I hope it does. Until next time, this is Starlight. Because that is what my human form is made from. Stardust and starlight from Source. I hope I genuinely hope that you have a great morning, afternoon, or night. And if you don't, take a deep breath and just breathe and just be. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to be afraid of. Bye.